Hello, everyone. We're back for another episode of The Update, and the focus for this episode is going to be Coweta County Teacher of the Year for 2023, Mollie Wilson. Stay with us. Canongate Elementary third graders, learning while engaged in technology. Mollie Wilson, Coweta County's 2023 Teacher of the Year, uses cross-curricular time teaching math, science, social studies, and writing. Keeping today's students engaged can be challenging.
A lot of it is setting boundaries and practice. We have lots of discussions about how we're going to use our technology, what the purpose of it is for education, and that we want to be using our time wisely. They've really done a great job.
Wilson uses technology to improve literacy skills across all subject areas. For these young learners working in pairs while studying about fossils, they use technology to build basic written communication skills.
Today, I hope that we will have finished up our research so that we can begin understanding how to take our facts that we have researched and put them into our writing. We're learning about informational writing right now, so we have to get some facts to start with, and then we're going to be building up to learning to write.
The school system works diligently to keep literacy education at the forefront across all grade levels as we work to raise proficiency levels for all our students.
I hope that they all have enjoyed learning even more about a topic that's a high interest topic, and that they feel good about their ability to research and find more information. And I hope that this helps to continue to love that lifelong learning goal that I have for all of them.
We're joined by Canongate Elementary School teacher Mollie Wilson, who is also Coweta County's 2023 Teacher of the Year. Welcome, Mollie.
Thank you for having me.
First off, how's your school year going?
It's great. We've had a lot of exciting events this week. We're having some grandparents in the building for Grandparents' Day. We're having some book fair time. So we're off to a great start.
Yeah, it's the life of an elementary school
That's
teacher,
right.
huh? You just never know what you're going to get.
Never know.
Book fair and Grandparents' Week on a 4-day week.
That's right. We get all the fun packed in as much as we can.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Well, thanks for being here today. You've been a teacher since '98 and been in Coweta since 2010.
2010.
And where all have you worked in Coweta?
I worked at Elm Street and then Canongate. So I've kind of stayed in one place for a bit and then transferred to Coweta, to Canongate.
Wow.
Staying in Coweta.
And grade level chair, been in leadership positions pretty much everywhere you've been, right?
I've gotten to do some great things. That's one thing that's fantastic about Coweta is they encourage and foster the leadership within the building. So that's been a cool experience.
Cool. And you've also been your school teacher of the year more than once, right?
I have.
How many times?
Yes, twice.
Twice.
So that's been pretty cool. Once at Elm Street and once at Canongate.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Quite an honor.
Yeah, it's an honor to be chosen by your peers to be Teacher of the Year. And now we sit here in the fall of 2023, and in late May, you were named Coweta County's Teacher of the Year. Tell me about that experience up to this point. What's that mean?
Wow, it's just such an honor because I'm surrounded by amazing educators every day. And that's what's so just mind-blowing that I get to do this.
Yeah.
So it's quite an honor. I'm just blown away still.
Yeah, and that process to become Teacher of the Year, I mean, it's not easy. First off, you're selected by your peers, and then people are coming to visit you at the worst time. Talk about that a little bit.
So the last week of school this past year, we had some visitors to our classroom, and kudos to my students last year. They rolled right on with it. We were trying really hard to maintain our normal classroom atmosphere, and they rocked it. So they got to see us engaging in a math lesson where they were in charge of trying to set out our lunch schedule for next year with elapsed time. Yeah. And they just really did great.
Awesome, awesome. Who inspired you to become a teacher, or what inspired you?
Okay, so teaching is absolutely a calling. I tried to run away from it a little bit. And I said I was going to be in business and all of these things. And I got pulled back in. My sixth grade teacher, I talked to her over one of my breaks in college. And she reminded me just by being herself that that was really what I needed to do.
Yeah.
So Darlene Tanner from Ware County, she
Wow.
was my inspiration to be an educator.
Awesome.
So
Awesome. You know, everybody has one of those stories, has that person they can name.
yeah.
It's pretty cool to hear about yours. And of course, I'm sure in your classroom, you want to be that teacher for all of your students.
Well, I hope that I'm able to help everybody find their shine, what they can do best at. And I'm a firm believer that if you are looking for something, you're going to find it. So I choose to look for the best. And let's find the best in everybody.
And you've taught younger grades primarily.
Kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade. Haven't taught fifth.
Wow.
So I've taught them all.
And
Pre-K.
you're in third now.
Third now.
What's it like in your classroom? Describe for me a day in your classroom.
So I'm very fortunate to have a team that is willing to try new things and do new things, and the administration is willing to trust us a little bit. So this year we're trying to departmentalize a little bit so we can really hone in and dig deep on those standards, especially with third grade being a testing year, that first testing year. So we start off in the mornings with our homerooms. We do some writing instruction. Everybody's teaching writing. And then we have math, science, and social studies in my class. Digging in. This year we're building thinking classrooms, and we're really working on productive struggle. And you may not know the answer right away, but what can you do about that? We have a lot of collaborative groups up and moving because you move and learn, kind of the same thing. We talk about the research behind collaboration, and we really focus on growth mindset. That's one thing that I hope that every student takes with me. I may not be able to do it right away, but I can get there. So we talk about the power of yet a lot.
And that's really hard for this generation of students. Heck, it's hard for us.
It is.
Because we all want that instant gratification or that instant win. So how do you go about trying to establish that power of yet with those students?
Baby steps. Well, we first talk about the things that we are good at. And we think back to, were we always good at that? Or is that something we had to work on? So we kind of lay the foundation that way. And then I use a lot of books in my class, even teaching math and science. We read different stories and, giraffes can't dance and all of those fun stories that really bring in the thinking about the ways that we can grow and change and persevere.
And really, while you're teaching the curriculum, you're building resilience.
We are.
What you're doing.
We're doing our best to do that. We want them to realize that there's more than one way to solve a problem, too. Every problem has a solution. We're going to get there. It may take us a long time. It may take us a little bit of time, but we can get there.
Yeah, and that in and of itself is a powerful life skill. If someone can hone the skill to be resilient and to work to problem solve in multiple ways, that's a big deal.
We start off talking to families, too, and let them know, hey, it's good if they get to make a mistake because mistakes are how our brains grow, and we really celebrate mistakes. One of the things that we do every day is talk about a mistake that we found in our work so that we can celebrate, and we just cheer about our brains growing because we figured out our mistake.
And third grade is a crucial. Every year is a crucial.
Every year is crucial.
But third grade especially is a crucial year for kids. Talk just a minute about that.
It's a big jump from second grade, a lot of learning to read, learning to do the strategies and the skills set, the foundational skills, to applying those. Reading to learn and applying those foundational skills in complex ways in math and reading science informational texts and reading social studies. It's just a big jump. So we really want to make sure that we lay a solid foundation as well as keeping them looking ahead to know that maybe they don't know it right away, but they can get there.
Yeah, you've said the word a few times, and we were going to go there eventually. Reading. Literacy is a huge push, not just here in Coweta, but of course across the state. What types of things are you guys doing at Cannon Gate in the area of literacy?
One thing is we're reading often. You have to read, and to be a good reader, you need to read. So we're trying to incorporate lots of ways to read. We've talked about book challenges. We share books that we've read during the school day, school year. I think yesterday or one day this week, one day this very short week, we had National Book Day. So we all got to stop and read a book. Anything to encourage the love of reading. We try to incorporate fun reading texts and topics so that it's not always, okay, we're going to read this text about.
Yeah.
So we try to get some interest generated into it. Lifelong readers are lifelong learners.
Yeah, and you know, I never really understood the importance of literacy. I mean, I did, but until I heard that they build prisons based on
third
grade
grade
literacy.
literacy. It's important.
It is just crucial.
So we're working hard to fill gaps, identify gaps. You know, while COVID's passed, we still have some residual effects. So we really are working hard to close those gaps. Maybe some small group instruction, some individualized plans that we can set forth. We want those children to become citizens that are well-rounded and they're able to read and do basic math skills and advanced math skills. These are all the things that we're laying the foundation for in these elementary years.
Yeah, and you mentioned COVID, and I know we're all tired of talking about it, but I think it's good to go back and acknowledge the fact that the kids that you're teaching now, if my math is correct, they were in pre-K.
Pre-K.
That is a critical, I mean, they're all
They're
all
learning,
critical times, but there's so
right.
many things in the way of readiness that they're learning.
Socially and emotionally. Those are some really, think about ending that year just on a dime in March.
Yeah.
And that can create some anxiety and some things that we're working through still with students. And, you know, the great thing is they're resilient.
Yeah.
And they're making big strides.
And how are you guys navigating through that? I know you see those effects every day, and to everyone's credit, done a great job of getting kids back in school and getting them back to learning the things that they need to know. But what are you doing on a daily basis to overcome some of those things?
We do a lot of spiraling. That way we are hitting those things that might have been missed quite often. We keep revisiting, which is good educational practice anyway. It's this crucial practice when we are filling in those gaps. There's a lot to go back and catch up on, but you know what else? We're also focusing on some social emotional needs that, I mean, we had to learn how to do school when we came back for a lot of them, and that means that they're not sitting at home with one-on-one or one-on-two or three. There's multiple children and one or two adults in the room. So we had to learn some of those schooling practices, but it's getting better every year. I really do feel like that.
And I think I've heard you say before, laying the foundation is more important than perfection.
Oh,
Elaborate
yeah.
on that a
Progress
little
over
bit.
perfection,
Yeah.
always. We celebrate a lot of growth. It doesn't matter where you're starting. That's your starting line. What we want to see is you growing. And if you're putting in the work and we're putting in the work, you're going to grow. And we know that. We had this conversation in my class the other day. Everybody's growth rate is different. When you're ready, that's your time. As long as you're working hard, when you're ready, that's the perfect time for you. So
what are your plans for the rest of the year? I know you got tons of them.
we have so many things in store. We're going to continue at Cannon Gate with our advocacy program, which we love, and we are going to. We've got some great science field trips planned. We can't wait for all of those things in third grade to happen. And I mean, we're just day to day. We're going to keep going and keep doing and keep watching these kids shine.
To the rising teacher out there, maybe a little bit less experienced, who maybe one day aspires to be county's teacher of the year, what advice what wisdom would you want to impart upon them?
That's a great question. Again, I go back to you find what you're looking for. That's kind of my guiding principle. And what I choose to look for and what I feel like teachers need to look for is how we can help them find their best. So I say be careful what you're looking for. Choose to see the best. So that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah, choose to see the best, no matter the circumstance or whatever.
We don't just like they don't get to pick us. We don't pick them. But I believe that we're supposed to be together. So it's our job as educators to find their shine, help them shine.
Last question. It's a loaded one, and I promise if you don't like the answer later, we can cut it. You could wave a magic wand and do anything to make things better for kids, what would you do? Told you it's a loaded
That's
question.
loaded for sure. I would want to make sure that every single child knows that they are loved.
Yep.
So build those relationships, have solid relationships somewhere. And I think that Coweta does a very good job of making that push the relationships over rigor. Because when the relationships are there, the rigor is going to come.
And I think that answer, in large part, explains to everyone why you're Coweta County's 23 Teacher of the Year.
I appreciate that.
So that's an answer that I think a lot of parents would hope that their teacher would give.
Well, that's what I hope to impart. I hope everybody leaving my class knows that they were loved.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being with us today. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
being the 2023 Coweta County Teacher of the Year. I appreciate everything that you do for students at Canongate and for our district each day. So thanks for
you.
being with us.
Absolutely.
Everyone, it's Mollie Wilson, Canongate Elementary School and Coweta County's 2023 Teacher of the Year. We'll be back soon. Thanks for tuning in to today's update. As you can probably tell from Mollie's last answer, she takes a lot of pride in ensuring that her students do well, and she loves each and every one of them. That's why she's our Teacher of the Year. I want you to know we're proud of her and her efforts, and we put a lot of effort into making sure that each child every day has the best opportunity to be successful, and that's accomplished through the love of teachers just like Mollie. Hope you'll tune in next time for the next episode of The Update. And until then, call us if you need us, and we'll see you soon.